I knew something was wrong the moment the waiter whispered my name like it was a secret. People don't lower their voices unless they're hiding something. Or someone. My hands were steady, though. They always are. Even when the world shifts under me. "Your sister wants you to sit over there," he said, pointing toward a dim corner behind a pillar, as if he were offering me a punishment instead of a seat. My sister, glowing in her designer gown, was too busy basking in her new wealth to look at me directly. But she didn't need to. Her message was clear. Stay out of sight. Don't embarrass us. You don't fit the image. I felt the sting. I didn't show it. My husband didn't say a word either. His jaw tightened. That's how I knew he felt it too. And yet, we walked to the isolated table like we had chosen it ourselves. Quiet. Measured. People always mistake silence for weakness. That's their first mistake. My sister's fiancé hadn't arrived yet. She kept checking her phone, touching up her lipstick, adjusting her diamond like it was oxygen. She wanted the world to know she'd traded up. She thought she'd won. She didn't know the game hadn't even begun. And then, just as the lights dimmed and the music softened, her fiancé arrived. Tall, polished, expensive suit. The kind of presence that demands attention without saying a word. My sister nearly ran to him, but he didn't look at her. His eyes went straight to my husband. He froze, then smiled. Not the polite kind, the recognition kind. He walked right past her, didn't even touch her waist, and reached our secluded table. "Man, I can't believe it's you," he said to my husband, gripping his shoulder warmly. "I've been trying to get a meeting with you for months." Months. My sister heard it. I watched the color drain from her face, because she knew my husband wasn't poor. But she didn't know he was that wealthy. She didn't know because I never told her. I'd learned long ago that anything she envies, she ruins. And the night she tried to ruin me, that was the night I started planning. My sister and I weren't always enemies. There was a time she held my hand crossing the street. A time she braided my hair and whispered secrets under warm blankets. But somewhere between childhood and adulthood, something in her soured. Success turned into superiority. Love turned into rivalry. And the moment she got engaged to a man with money, she made sure I felt small. She wasn't satisfied with winning. She needed me to lose. The last straw wasn't even the secluded table. It was 2 months earlier, when she accidentally sent me a voice note where she laughed with her friends about how pathetic my financial life must be. I didn't confront her then. Anger is loud. Revenge is quiet. I simply pressed save on the message. And I began watching her more closely. It wasn't hard. She practically handed me the pieces. The shady texts she tried to hide. The suspicious bank transfers. The conversations that abruptly stopped when I entered a room. And finally, the undeniable evidence. A message thread between her and a man who was definitely not her fiancé. A man she planned to run away with if her fiancé ever found out she was using him for status. She had always been careless with secrets. But this one could shatter her entire world. So I printed everything. Dated. Time-stamped. Organized. And I waited. I didn't want to ruin her. Not at first. But when she shoved me into the shadows at her engagement party, when she made my husband feel small, when she basked in the illusion of superiority she built on lies, that was the moment I stopped hoping she'd change. That was the moment I decided to act. Not with rage. With precision. Step 1. I told my husband the truth. He didn't deserve her insults, and he deserved to know exactly why she behaved the way she did. Step 2. I made sure her fiancé received an anonymous envelope. Inside, printed screenshots, the voice note, proof of her second man, proof she was siphoning money from her fiancé's account. I knew he'd open it before the party, but I also knew he'd pretend everything was normal until he confronted her himself. Step 3, I showed up. On time, calm, silent, because revenge tastes better when savored slowly. So when her fiancé stood before my table, shaking my husband's hand with admiration, my sister practically staggered toward us. "Honey," she whispered, voice cracking. Why are you talking to them?" He turned to her with a look she didn't recognize. colder one, a knowing one. Because, he said, eyes never leaving hers. I always make time for people who are honest. Her breath hitched. And loyal, he added. Her knees buckled, just slightly. He slipped a thick envelope into her trembling hands. Open it later, he said dryly. Wouldn't want to ruin your night. But the night was already ruined. Her hands shook as she held the evidence. Her lies, her infidelity, her theft, all wrapped neatly, gift-boxed in truth. She looked at me then, eyes wide, begging, accusing. But I didn't blink. She had pushed me into the shadows. Tonight, she stood in them alone. An hour later, her fiancé left the party without her. Her friends whispered. Her mother cried. Her fairy tale collapsed in real time. And my sister, the girl who once braided my hair and later tried to break me, stood shattered in the ruins she built herself. I didn't feel joy. Not exactly. But I felt something better. Closure. Quiet. Precise. Final. As I walked out with my husband's hand in mine, I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Some betrayals deserve forgiveness. Hers deserved consequences. And I had simply delivered them.